there's this time of the year when you just don't think of the bad stuff. You have faith in humanity. And then this happens.
Mustache, what the hell is that? Bandit, yes!
Time to unpack this beauty. When you see these colors, you just know that it's gonna get real fun real quick. Ooh. Nice. Riser fix system. I think they're quite a bit thinner and bend better. Maybe I'll start using them because the previous ones I just couldn't bend really, and they were so sturdy that I just never used it. The lines, they look like the lines from some kind of lightweight competition paraglider. Ooh, the clips are new. It's magnetic now. Kind of like it. The bag is more bulky than a Mustache, that's for sure, because I know my 15 packed size pretty well. All right, let's take it out to the hill. Okay, I was trying to say my first impression during the flight, but this wing definitely kept me pretty busy. It inflates really easy, but the kiting is slightly harder than the Mustache. It's a little less forgiving, but the craziest thing is the landing. I did not carry even close enough energy to just go and turn like this on the landing, but apparently it was enough. Good first flight. The first runs were a bit overwhelming. It's been a while since I tried to spot land and ended up like 100 feet ahead of the spot. You just can't comprehend where all this energy comes from. You just go and go and go and go. I tried both forwards and reverses, and I like how it behaves in both of them. However, it does take extra effort to make it look good on the inflation. Because with this high aspect, the flappy tips is much more of a problem. It comes up sometimes like this, and it takes me quite a bit to fix a cravat in the air compared to a Mustache. There were several flights where I would kind of get carried away with all the fun and don't notice the flappy tips, and this might not be a problem on a training hill, but if it's a technical terrain, a technical launch, and you didn't pay enough attention, I see how that can be pretty scary. So yeah, this wing needs extra attention on the inflation, on the launch, and yeah, you just got to make sure that it looks right. So far, the only thing that really kind of annoys me is the line set. I understand that it's necessary, but it catches on tiny little sticks, they get entangled very easily. You need to be really cautious with your pre-flight inspection. Again, the Bandit is not the first wing that uses this kind of line set, so it is just a me problem, and I need to be more aware of that and kind of add caring for these lines to my skill set. Okay, it's enough for a training hill. Today my goal was just to get the first impression and kind of get comfortable with the controls. Tomorrow I'm gonna take a smaller size, the 16, to the mountains and try a little hike and fly with it. The problem is there is no regular speed fly or like hike and fly site here. There's one that might just work, but it's a little tricky, so we'll see what comes out of it. I'll go get some rest and see you in the morning.
Boy. Alright, it is 6 in the morning, and I think I gotta go, because I want to fly Sage Hill. Not that I actually want to fly it right now. Honestly, all I want is just to stay in the sleeping bag of my camper, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Maybe in like 10 minutes. No. Okay. What are we gonna do? Look at this haze. That sucks. Alright, I'm at the presumed trailhead. The plan is to have fun. The mountain is right ahead of me. To be fair, all the locals said it's gonna be bushwhacking. I should have at least googled how poison oak looks. I think I can go up there. Okay, I'm either lucky or this is gonna cost me. I think I found a deer trail. So let's see where that goes. There are those moments when you like fully question your choices. I could have asked Turtle and just take the wings to Suboba, get a nice shuttle up, and just go do some 1700 flights. No! I'm bushwhacking through some shit. I'm finding mountain lion crap everywhere. These are the core memories. Yeah, they actually retain for quite a while. I definitely got a cactus needle. I'm not that far. I'm pretty far from that. I was kind of following this deer tracks for a while. In my head, for some reason, deer were going to the summit. Why in the world, as an animal, you would go to the summit? Dear crap, where are you? No more shit. Does that mean I'm lost? I'm not gonna slide. Actually might slide. Okay, one of my incentives of going here was, hey, this wing was developed in Europe, and this guy's launch in this perfect grassy hills, endless LZs, crumplots, and all that. So I want to find a perfect grassy spot and launch there too. American grassy slope. It's all cactus and poison oak. Nothing is grassy. I've been literally following the crap for the last 2 hours. Okay, I think I've arrived. Holy shit. This is so freaking beautiful. There's a barbed wire fence over here. Not gonna cross that. East flow from the mountains. It's pretty strong actually. This place is good. I'm gonna stop here. It was at this point when I realized that the air is much more turbulent than I expected it to be, and the reaction of the wing is also a little different from what I would think. So I just went and landed safely. That was bumpy as hell. All right, I have a couple insights from this flight. It was quite turbulent, which I didn't expect to have it at this degree at this point in time. This flight raised a lot of questions, and at this point I decided that the review will be in 2 parts. I will do a separate video about smaller sizes and stronger conditions, but for now, even with the bigger sizes, I've got a lot to learn about this kind of design and how it behaves in different conditions. For example, I know that this is not a FLARE official information from the website or something, but this is a collaborative post, so it shows up on the FLARE feed. And the post states that the wing can keep up with paragliders and even go in XC. Can it physically do that? With this efficiency and the speed, probably. How safe it is though, there is very little information about that online. Have they done SIV? How does it recover from collapses? How will it handle much more violent turbulence than what I experienced today? Ooh. All of this is a little unclear, and I tried to actually connect with someone from FLARE R&D, but this brand is famously not very responsive, so I just hope that they will release this information at some point, or someone will try it out, someone way more skilled than me. Anyways, what happened today is I had a really bumpy flight, and it showed me a lot about the wing. From the research perspective, it was a pretty good experience because I saw how the wing kind of cuts through the thermals and everything.
But also I got pretty damn scared because my plan was to do something a little more technical and a little more cool. At the point where I realized it's going to be a bumpy ride and the wing really reacts and I really feel a lot of feedback, I decided to just kind of go straight to LZ, do a couple steeper turns, and then just land safely because that was a priority.
If I would be on a Mustache or on any of my speed wings, all the feedback I would get is, well, shake. Well, this wing behaves much more like a paraglider. I would not want to take a collapse on both, but this thing, I'm scared of a recovery alone.
I think I deserve a good coffee and breakfast to begin with, but after that I'm gonna hit the coast and finally try the Bandit in the conditions it was kind of invented for. Actually, when I went over the pass, I already saw that something is not right. The whole place was kind of fogged out, the wind was really, really light, but this is a part of the game, a part of the sport. Sometimes you just gotta accept it, let go, enjoy the scenery with your friends, and say to yourself, tomorrow is another day. Oh, hell no! I can run, I can jump, so unless it's a nuclear tailwind, which is not present, I'm getting my coastal laps no matter what. We got some forwards, lots of hiking up, beach swoop landings, and then I honestly did not believe that this is gonna work. I would certainly not stay up on my full-size paraglider. And these are the conditions where the Bandit is just mind-blowing. It clings to every single bit of lift. I was able to explore the spots where I would never go on my full-size paraglider or even Mustache. If you pay attention to my hand position, the brake range got quite a bit bigger, so I stay at the carabiners or below them quite a bit if I need to cling to the lift. I started with pretty dirty scratching, but at some point the wing got a little stronger, and I even got enough for top landing. I switched to 19. I was thinking, why would you even want a smaller size? It was just so fun on a 22. But then when I got on a 19, I immediately felt so much difference. It dives way more aggressively. It is way more dynamic in a feedback during proxying, and just overall a lot more responsive. Even though it was not enough wind, and I wish I would be overpowered to try some cooler stuff, as a coastal wing, it excels in everything. I'm really happy with the stability in laminar air. I'm really happy with the response and tip steering, and more importantly, the range is really comfortable. I'll stop and expand on that a little. At this point I tried pretty much every parakite out there except for the Ozone prototypes and the Dune Rider, because Jeff Katz said I'm not ready for it, and I tend to trust Jeff Katz. And I can say that with the high aspect stuff, Flare probably makes my favorite products in terms of how I feel the feedback and the brake pressure. Yes, in terms of speed flying, I'd say Odin is my favorite because you really feel the pressure like in a speed wing. But in higher aspect stuff, I've just tried a lot of things that through the whole range you don't feel anything, and then once you get to the stall point, this is kind of a concrete wall and there's not enough range to feel a lot of things there as well. So with the Mustache 2, and especially with the Bandit, you have this whole thing where you really feel the feedback and you really see the difference of what happens. And then as you come closer to the stall point, you still have quite a bit of range to choose from, and you really feel it all. So as a conclusion for the stuff I have tried with the bigger sizes of this wing, what can I say? I loved it. I absolutely loved flying this wing. It's a ton of fun. I would definitely recommend flying it on the coast in laminar air or early in the morning, later in the evening. It is still unclear to me how it behaves and how it recovers from things in turbulent air. I generally agree with an official data that says that you want to have like 40, 50, 60 hours on a mustache of a comfortable size and the conditions that you plan in to fly a Bandit, and you'll be fine on a Bandit. However, I want to say that you will immensely benefit from paragliding experience. And this is an interesting thing because I think with a mustache, speed flyers would have an upper hand because the smaller sizes kind of behave like the mini wings. They're really agile, responsive, and for a purely paraglider pilot, it might be overwhelming at the beginning. With a Bandit though, the pilots that do both will definitely feel way more comfortable than either speed flyers or just purely paragliders. And so having a prior experience with higher aspect wings, with longer line wings, because this is when you feel the G's, this is when you feel this different energy build up. I think having this kind of experiences will just make your experience much more smooth, fun, and safe. This trip was really spontaneous, and I'm super happy with what I could make out of it. 40 hours of driving and pretty much the same amount of time spent here, and I got training hill laps, I got a Sage mountain flight, I got soaring at baits, which is super inconsistent. However, there is still a lot I did not try. Speed flying and speed riding in real mountains on a smallest sizes, turbo soaring sessions, thermic flying with bigger sizes if that proves possible. So part 2 is definitely coming, but for now, I gotta get behind the wheel and make it home for Christmas. Thank you for watching. The best gift as always will be your activity. Comment, share, show it to your friends. Maybe someday brands will actually send the wings to me instead of me driving 40 hours somewhere to steal them. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and let's make 2026 the best year ever for our favorite sport. Cheers.